Hello. We are live. Oh my God, it's so long since I've opened up a live lunch. Wow, hadn't even thought about it until I actually started, and I was like, oh, and it's been a while. But it's okay. So I should probably sort of say something really nice about the fact that Nicole's been doing it for the last few weeks. Although, did Kim do one as well?
I think so, yeah. Like that was like 2-3 weeks ago, was it?
Yeah. I do love the fact that live lunch just kind of happens without me more often now than it happens with me. Although I know you guys don't love that. but it's good. It's good because otherwise it's like I take over, and it's really interesting actually watching this, like watching it back when I'm not on. And like seeing like is the entertainment the same? Is the dynamic the same? Is the like what we're sharing, the discussion, is it the same? And personally, I think it's actually better when I'm not on. But there you go. Anyway, welcome to the Green Umbrella Live Lunch. As always, it's Thursday. It's 12 noon. We are live on the Green Umbrella Facebook page, our YouTube channel, and also on my LinkedIn account. So, this is our little spot in the week where we come together and we talk about what we've seen that we think is interesting from a social media news perspective, anything that's happening in the business that we think is just going to be, just like interesting or different or something that people should be thinking about in their businesses. So what should we do? Should we just dive straight in? Should we just go for it?
Let's do it.
All right, Nicole, you can start then.
Okay. Shall I go in with the news?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Take it away, whatever you want to do.
I'll start with this Snapchat one because it's a small little story, but it's quite nice. And Snapchat are just surprising me each time because they're just doing these partnerships, and now they're partnering with Adidas, and they're creating like clothing for Bitmojis, but I think it's only a jacket, but they come in all different styles. But I can really see that being good for the younger generation. Like I can see them taking to that. Do you know what I mean? But you have to like have tokens to pay for the clothing. So you go on your profile, then you tap like your Bitmoji, and then you have to pay with tokens to get your Adidas jacket. So Gen Zs, listen up.
It's like gamification, isn't it? Within Snapchat, which I kind of like, but I think it's interesting. It's not really rolling out. Snapchat have been doing stuff like this for a little while now, and no one else seems to be picking up on it in the same way.
There was a thing about Meta, though, that they were talking about in these virtual stores where you could go and buy your designer gear to put on your Bitmoji there. So, but they haven't rolled that out yet, but they have been talking about it.
Yeah, okay. Maybe Snapchat are getting ahead. So, they're like setting the example.
Cool. Oh, guys, we got spammer on YouTube. Look,
we had him last week. I'm sure it's the same one.
Is it? Maybe it's 69 kiss dot live. Thanks for rocking up, dude. Thank you. Adding value everywhere they go. It's funny, isn't it? So it's an interesting thing because I think it is. I mean, we talked about this ages ago, Jane. Like you say about your kids and like not Roblox. What's the other thing called? Minecraft, is it?
Yeah, and Fortnite stuff as well.
That's it, Fortnite.
Yeah, but mine, Roblox definitely. I know somebody who's got a Gucci handbag in Roblox.
What?
Mad,
which is mad.
That is crazy.
Yeah, and expensive. In real money, expensive as well.
Yeah,
it is bizarre. It is bizarre. Okay, so I mean, Snapchat. There's I've seen a couple of different news stories around Snapchat this week. Has anyone seen anything else?
There was one. There's been a thing on called Lens Fest, and at that they've announced that they're going to be working with more creators to monetize things a bit more with their lenses. So it will be, again, buying things in while you're using them. So you put the lens on or whatever you do with it, and you can buy in-game items or upgraded lenses or clothes. Again, it's sort of digital goods basically that you can buy just as another way of monetizing it for creators. Really.
Yeah, I do think that, and I know I've obviously on, I don't even remember what night it was, Tuesday night, I did a webinar that, not a webinar because we don't call them webinars, otherwise people don't show up. So I did a live session where I was talking about the trend, like what I think the trends will be for next year, and like shopping through social media is just it's honestly gonna be crazy next year. But it's things like this. It's the sort of the gamification options, the digital products, that sort of stuff. It's like I said, I think there's a lot of opportunity there. So like even if it is a Gucci handbag for your avatar or your Adidas jacket, or like I say, just Kieran a veg chopper that she gets very excited about, that she bought from TikTok Shop. So like I said, I think there's masses of opportunity in terms of social media shopping in 2023, and for all brands, like even for us, like digital products, things like we could be selling our digital courses through TikTok Shop. We could be creating merch, like just low ticket items, notepads and things like that, and getting stuff like that, selling that through TikTok Shop, and Instagram shopping as well is just, there's so much happening on that front. There really is big opportunity there.
I feel like, Christina, a while ago, weren't you speaking about how you were gonna sell some things on TikTok?
Yeah.
Up?
No. I'm seriously looking into a few different things.
Oh.
But yeah, Mark's been busy, so I've come against a bit of a brick wall there. But there's some things that Mark's done for me that he doesn't realise it's sort of heading towards that. But yeah, I just think there's so many things that we like, even for us. Okay, so we sell social media services, like done for you services, coaching, mentorship for people who want to do marketing themselves. So it's not a business that lends itself to product per se, but some of the things that I say on a regular basis could be like little catchphrases and stuff like that, little prompts that could be, on the front of a notebook, for example.
Oh, I love those things.
With a really cool design that would be like, not a lot of money.
Are we talking about things like nobody likes you anyway?
That's it. That's it. I do say that a lot. Too much.
Christina on the front with a couple of thumbs down. So.
That's it.
That little cartoon of Christina.
I want one.
So good. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's like it's that show up back you on a water bottle or on a wristband and stuff like that.
And
which
we
I
have
think
to have one saying awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
100%. So it's just little stuff like that. And the thing is, you think like, would anyone buy it? Well, I mean, have you seen some of the stuff on Amazon that gets bought again and again and again? It's essentially drop shipped, and so I think there's room. Yeah, there's room for it. Even in service-based business, there's tons of things you can do without having to go. For years I've talked about I want to do this journal, and it's like I've actually got a bit of a problem this year because I haven't bought my journal yet, and time is running out. But it's like definitely too late to get Mark to design me my journal. But then I was thinking again, the journal. So whenever I've thought of this journal, I shouldn't. Why am I talking about this now when with live streaming? I mean, this should be private conversation. But this is the point of my lunch. We full transparency. So I'm like, I shouldn't be talking about it, and I'm carrying on talking about it. So like to do a journal for social media managers or business owners, okay, that think the way that I think. I've always wanted to do this physical thing, and then it'd be like, oh my God, it's going to be like this heavy tome. No one's got a bag that big to carry it around with them. But actually now, if you think about like the way I use my iPad, we could create a digital journal that people can use in apps like Notability or whatever, and therefore, like, it's easy for them to take with them. So, like I said, it's this ability to create digital products, I think, is like I say, social media shopping 2023, whether you're an e-commerce brand or not, there is massive opportunity there. But if you're in a service-based business, start thinking about what products can you create that might not even be physical, and if you can think of something physical, even better. Like we could have a load of t-shirts designed, right? But like t-shirts social media managers would wear. They'd all have an element of green in them. It'd be great. But like I said, it's just stuff like that. Anyway, moving along. Jane, what have you got news-wise? Anything popping out for you this week?
Yeah,
Popping up, not popping out.
Hopefully not, no. Anyway, I've completely lost my train of thought now, but apart from
I need out some coffee. You know what? Oh,
sorry. I was
I
all
missed
right, and then
this, guys.
she started coughing.
We can use that as a blooper then.
I've had this horrendous cough, right? This like real bronchial cough. Every time I start laughing, I have another coughing fit. I cannot be funny today. Simple as that.
Right, anyway, so Meta have updated their ads basically so that you can now target your audience on Instagram. This is something that people assume would have been a thing already, and I don't know why it hasn't been really, but anyway, it now is a thing. So you can target basically people who have followed you on Instagram, people who have engaged with your profile, people who have visited your profile, people who have sent a message to you, or people who have saved one of your posts or your ads. So they don't even need to follow you, which is absolutely fantastic, because there are times when your audience is mostly on Instagram and we haven't had that sort of ability to really target them closely, and now we will do. So I'm actually really excited about that one, because there have been times when Instagram adverts have really frustrated me, and hopefully this will fix it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what I love is the next step will be lookalike audiences. So if you know you've built a real core following, you know, a real solid following that is the right people, to be able to do a lookalike audience on Instagram off the back of that is like, that's next level.
Definitely, 100%. So yeah, I don't know if it's actually rolled out yet or whether it's coming soon, but yeah, next time I'm in Ads Manager, I'm going to have a look if we've got it.
Absolutely. What about you, Mark? You're being quiet today, Mark, for a change. Do you know,
spoken too much over the last few live lunches.
This is what I'm going to say. It's like when I'm on, you don't say two frigging words, and then I watch it when I'm not on here, and I'm like,
To be fair, I haven't actually seen that much of mega interest this week. So I've got a couple of Google bits that I've seen. So we've spoken before about the sort of Google People First update that was sort of put out there earlier on in the year. There's been a tweak to that which began rolling out on the 5th of December. Could take up to a couple of weeks to sort of roll out. So again, that's looking at sort of content that is written for people rather than written for search engines. So there's been some criticisms that not much happened with the rankings after the first sort of update. So people are hoping that this actually sort of gives a bit more weight to these things that Google is saying about. So we'll see, maybe over the next few weeks, sort of month or so, see if anything sort of changes there. Because I think obviously someone like us, we're obviously conscious of search engines, but we're quite organic in how we write and things like that. So we're quite a good sort of test bed for some of that sort of stuff, really. And then
don't you think though, on that point, when we first had the announcement of the algorithm change, I remember we talked about it on here, and I sort of said the thing is, it's actually not that much of a change, because it's really building on the big shift we saw in like 2010. Like Google Caffeine. So actually, if people have been paying attention to that from 2010 to date, then it shouldn't make too much difference. There's people that have ignored that, it's going to take them out of the game, yes. But I think I think there's enough kind of awareness out there for the need to create content for people rather than just SEO, for the bots, that actually... Yeah,
there's still a lot of stuff out there, though. I think even we see some things sometimes with sort of people that we come in contact with where there is really keyword heavy sort of landing pages and things. And I think they'll be the things that will really drop off at some point if they're not written in a way that actually add any value to people. So I don't know. I think that's what they seem to be trying to sort of not clamp down on, but just weight down more.
Yeah,
I think. But then sort of not directly related to that, the other Google thing I saw is trying to help people search for things better and get better search results. So again, in the article that I saw, it was saying an example, like if you search for dinner ideas, that's such a vast sort of search term. So basically Google will then give you other options to add to that, to give you a long tail search, to try and narrow your search down and get you a better result. So it might be that actually I'm looking for healthy vegetarian dinner ideas rather than just dinner ideas or something like that. It's trying to get people to get better sort of search results from that. So that's rolling out on mobile in America at the minute, and we'll have to, obviously we'll get the article out there at some point, but there's a screen grab in there, so it actually at the top of the search, it like lets you add these keywords by clicking on them, so then it builds that search for you, so you can then narrow it down. So it's just helping people that are just being a bit vague with their searches, really.
I like that.
But yeah, it might actually spark other things as well. So it's quite an interesting one, because I was thinking about some of the things obviously that we get found for on our website, which sometimes are quite random, to be fair, or a certain blog that we know about that has been there for years and still gets found. But it's that kind of thing that might then, if people are looking for specific things, it might actually help other articles that are a bit like that as well. So if someone's searching for, like, obviously that one is like I'm thinking of the Facebook YouTube video one, but if someone's searching for, I don't know, something specific to do with LinkedIn, by adding those extra keywords in, it actually might help someone like us with our search, what's actually coming up in our in people's search results.
It'll be interesting. I'm like, I wonder, would I use it? But I'm not very patient, am I, with this stuff? I'm like, I Google something, and if I don't get the answer, I'm like, bored now.
I think it's sort of it's only a bit more on from some of the things that come up, because obviously if you start typing, especially on Google search desktop, obviously you get suggested things almost come up. So it's only one level on from that, really, because obviously if you're typing something, you might then click on one of those suggested things. But if you're being very specific in what you're searching for, but then your results are not good, then you can then obviously delve through these extra bit that's asking you to add on to give the long tail. So I don't know, might be useful.
Interesting. Cool. Okay, so I got a couple of things. So this is why I have to watch Live Lunch when I'm not around, because I then have to keep track of what you have and what you haven't spoken about. Okay, so forgive me if any of this has been talked about before. So first of all, it's written like metaverse stuff. Okay, it's been really interesting the last few weeks the last couple of months, because like the whole thing, like metaverse, Web3, there's like massive conversations and what's going to happen next. And then all of a sudden there was a bit of a, what I would describe as a bit of a dip, if you like. People suddenly went very quiet. And although we saw companies like Meta making massive investment in this and massive losses as well because of their investments, it was all a bit kind of like, almost like falling off the edge of a cliff face. Okay, and then that's sort of how I was seeing it going, but then conversations seem to be coming back again. And this week I've seen again, it's Meta that's doing the work here. So have you seen that basically you're going to be able to use they've done some work around how we can use avatars. Okay, so things like using your avatars on Facebook to create posts. So, at the minute, like you might write a post and then you can choose some of the backgrounds. Okay. And they're all like the cartoony avatar based backgrounds, but there's like set ones and it sort of works in a certain way. Well, they're bringing some more options into that. So I think that's quite interesting. And obviously the idea is to encourage us to be using these, but then we'll be able to, and this is something I've read a couple of articles, I'm not exactly sure how this will work. But the idea is, like, if you're using Facebook and you're using your avatar there, creating these sort of, meta images, metaverse images, you'll then be able to share those across to Instagram stories as well. But then there's also some discussion around actually using those avatars in Instagram. But that's where I've not got a lot of clarity so far. And then the other thing as well is that you'll be able to start reacting to things in your WhatsApp messages using these avatars as well, which, you know, the whole thing about actually developing this little character that represents you and everything down to, it's not just like, you know, your haircut and your eye color and all the clothes you wear. It's going to be stuff like the lighting options and things like that to really bring this sort of meta character to life. So I think it's really interesting that although we've sort of seen like this explosion and then it dying down, but then actually it's almost as if we've gone, right, you know, the Bitmoji characters, you know, these little avatars, how can we, that's what people know right now. How can we build on that to build the bridge between our understanding of life as it is today and life in the metaverse? So I thought that was quite interesting.
How do the avatars look? Sorry, will they look? You know how with Snapchat, like Bitmojis and like even iPhones have them, don't they? Where you can like, I think we were even doing it on Zoom earlier when it was both of Christina and Mark turned into a fox. Like you have those options.
Because we're boxing.
Really, really random to just mention that. Like that's Zoom that we were just trying out. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's slightly different because it's augmented reality, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're quite basic looking. So will these avatars be, from what you're saying about the lighting, will they be a lot more detailed?
I believe so, yeah. I think they'll develop into that.
It will change, won't it, over time, I suppose.
But that brings me on to something else. And I wish I'd actually written it down because now I can't remember the bloody app to it. Like, have you seen like there's a website you could go to and you put your photo in it and then it basically gives you your metaverse characters back.
I have seen that.
And like everyone's showing us. Some of them are so cool. So cool. But it's because of the detail that's there. They feel very much three-dimensional, whereas things like these avatars that we used to see are very two-dimensional, aren't they? But there's I haven't done mine yet, but I think I'm going to. And normally stuff like that I'm like not bothered about, but I think it's because everyone I've seen. Right, so here's the problem. Everyone that I've seen do them, when you then see the output, so it's like, let's say, like, obviously we know what Mark looks like, and then Mark posts, and it's like, this is warrior Mark, and I was gonna say Princess Mark, but that's not what, obviously, you know what I mean. But there's like these different characters of Mark, and it's like, and it's generated all these images, right? But they all look like every single one I've seen. They all look 10 times hotter than the actual person in real life. So I'm like, yeah, I want some of that. Yes, please, yes, please. But this is where the danger's going to be. Catfishing, but also this kind of
it's next level filters, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, and absolutely. The filters enough for like alone. Like I feel like people, but I look and I'm like, I'm sorry.
There's an image I didn't need.
I'm saying hot princess Mark now.
Yeah,
Nicole, nobody likes you anyway.
Yeah. But it is kind of I battle all the time. I'm like talking about stuff and saying to people like, show up, be you, be real, be authentic. And yet what we're moving to actually is almost giving us the best possible opportunity to not be any of those things.
Tricky one.
Yeah.
So it's, and then it's a, from a psychology perspective, if I'm talking about stuff I don't really know about, we need to get a guest on to talk about this, I think, that actually like knows this stuff. Really small. Knows this stuff. But you can imagine like someone who doesn't have a particularly good self-image then looks at those versions of themselves and then the gap just becomes bigger, right?
But then we've had conversations in the office, haven't we, where like Nicole said, like basically you're going to live in this other world potentially, or at least work in it, or it's it isn't going to be your persona. And again, we go back and we mentioned this ages ago. Ready Player One, People should just
I
watch
need
that,
to watch that film.
because that's how it will start.
And then we'll be living in the Matrix. We'll
Pretty
just
much,
be in
yeah.
pods and
Oh
Yeah.
God, can you imagine if we all woke up in the Matrix? We're all like actually not here. We're in boxes of water. Oh,
Now, with you, Nicole,
is-
nothing would surprise us.
Oh man. Okay, so there is. I was going to talk to you about. There's some updates to LinkedIn Analytics that are just like stupid. There's like loads of updates at the minute that are just like stupid updates because they should have just always have been. So things like like Jane showed about targeting on Instagram, but like LinkedIn Analytics, we've always been able to see when we've gained and lost followers, but we've never had like a growth chart for followers on LinkedIn, right? But that's in like LinkedIn Analytics has been updated again. We now get that. We now get we can see like what the best posts, whereas before you'd have to go through the list of all your posts, keep track of it, or export it all as a CSV Excel spreadsheet, reorder it. So it was always a faff to get this. So these two things now are in LinkedIn Analytics, which is fab. But it's just like, why have we not had like that's basic stuff?
Yeah.
So it's like it's really important that we've got those stats, but it's not exciting news because it's just it's like telling your kids to bring the plate down from the bedroom, and when they finally do it, you're like, about time. you're not like, yay, go. It's just like, yeah, thanks. The other thing with LinkedIn wise I thought was interesting, which is not, I don't know how many people it will affect. I guess it depends how much you use LinkedIn and how much you get spammed on LinkedIn. But they're introducing a focused inbox. So when you look at your emails, it's going to recognize when you're receiving spam messages and kind of filter them out, which I think is kind of cool. So if you are someone using messages on LinkedIn, using InMails specifically, and you're sending War and Peace sales messages, if you don't change, good luck to you, basically. It's not the way, guys. It's not the way. Stop doing it. So yeah. But the other, I say bigger thing I wanted to talk about is something I don't actually know loads about myself, because I am both old and not cool. So, all right, Nicole. I can see like holding, like don't react, don't react. So
you are cool, Christina.
Thanks, babe.
Didn't say a bit about old though.
Okay, so BeReal.
Oh, I use BeReal.
Yeah, apparently, Nicole, you're the BeReal queen. So we've got BeReal, and we've got TikTok now, and Instagram are now looking at creating features that are very much kind of like looking at what's happening on BeReal and trying to build features that are like that, but within Instagram. So the two things they're looking at is something called roll call. So if you're in a group chat on Instagram, basically with roll call, you put a message in and it's like everyone needs to do a post within the next 5 minutes in the group.
Oh, okay, that's a bit different then, isn't it? It's not like,
but it's using that same like dual camera.
Yeah. But I think that's different. Like Instagram are taking an idea and actually doing something different with it. It's not like they've done a TikTok where they've just taken the idea and got a whole page of just BeReal, basically. Like that's just like,
so just to explain, because most of our audience are me, Mark and Jane, not you. Right. So just explain, like how does BeReal work?
So you have 2 minutes to capture a photo, but you can be late with the photo, but it will just say that you're late with it. So, and it will stay up for 24 hours, almost like a Snapchat story or an Instagram story or Facebook, whatever. And yeah, in that moment, it's just meant to be like a real thing. Like there's no filters. It's just all natural. So you could be like, right now I could take one and I'll take one of you guys and then me, and it would just do, both cameras. So it shows what you're doing and you in the moment. But like, I do really like it because it's just so simple. But then you actually find out what people are doing. You know, with like social media, sort of everyone sort of glams up. It's not like, do you know what I mean? Like you just sort of
everything's staged. Yeah.
That's it. Whereas this is actually real. So it could be just someone walking the dog, and then like you can react with like your face, like so you can send emojis to them and comment on their post, or you can like take a picture of yourself in the moment reacting to their BeReal. So it's quite nice. It's very simple, but yeah.
So I can see when you're in essentially a closed community like an Instagram chat, I could see like how that would actually be quite cool.
Yeah, but you can't actually view other people's posts until you do your post. So It like locks them off until you've done yours, encouraging you to actually post.
But like I said, I think that, so let's say the four of us are in a group chat on Instagram and one of us says, right, roll call, and we all have to do that post within 5 minutes. Like it's like literally we're all seeing what each other's doing in that moment, even though we might all be in different places.
Yeah, and that's why I think I quite like it, because it's a group of, I don't know, your friends or whatever, or it's like, you care about what they're doing. So it's quite nice. So that's why I think it's different. Whereas like BeReal, it's one of those things where you can just follow anyone and anyone can follow you. And it's, I've kept mine down to quite just like people, that I'm actually, in the nice way possible, interested in.
So the other thing that that filtered out all the weirdos. I like it. The other thing that they're doing is called glimpse stories, which is essentially that 100% is just BeReal and TikTok now. It's just like dual camera capture, off you go. So but like I said, the roll call thing I quite liked.
Yeah.
So
we should get a GU set up. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Okay.
Based on our conversations the last few days, I think it depends on what time of day we're asked to take our photos.
Yeah, that's what. That's what's good about it as well, is they change the time, so it could be at 9 a.m. or it could be at 8 p.m. So they just like mix it up, so you do see like different versions of your day.
So what drives it? Is it BeReal just triggers the notification?
You just get a notification. Your 2 minutes come up. You've got 2 minutes to capture, but you can be, as I said, late with it. So if you go on it, I could post like the last hour of that 24 hours, and it will only be up for an hour, but it marks it on the calendar that you've done it, and then you can look through all your moments that you've taken throughout. So it shows a little calendar, but not everyone can see them. Only you can see them, of all your moments that you've taken.
Does it not, like, when you flip back at it, does it not make you just feel like your life's really mundane?
I did stop posting on it for a while, because I was literally like, well, I'm just sat on my bed watching. It's the same time, like, for a while, and I was like, I'm not going to post every single day just doing the same thing. So if I was doing something different, I would just be late with it, so I can just show that I'm doing something different.
Is that cheating? Is that cheating?
Maybe. But then I can't view other people's posts, so yeah.
It's like the last 2 weeks for me, like that would have been epic, because like most of the time I didn't know where I was. And it'd be like, oh, different party dress. Whereas like the next 2 weeks, it will be literally the office and my kitchen, and that'll be it.
Maybe we take one at the because Molly's got it as well. Maybe we take one at the Christmas do, and we can show you how it works.
Yeah, well, I've done a TikTok now this morning. Like, so are you using TikTok now or not?
No.
Nicole?
Oh, everyone's breaking up.
Oh dear.
Maybe she just didn't want to answer my question.
Well, I can hear you guys now. I heard something about TikTok. Can you guys hear?
Yeah. Are you using TikTok now?
I have an account, but I just like and save posts. And then I do, you know, when it's like, okay, I think there was this like Matt Hancock one from The Jungle when he talked about Ed Sheeran, and I was really sad and just like recreated it, but I just saved them in my drafts and don't post them because I'm just like, I don't know why I don't, but sometimes I'll just sit there.
But what I'm asking is TikTok
on,
now. TikTok now, are you using that?
Oh, no. I'm not doing it on 2 different platforms. Like, I would rather just stick to the BeReal. And then it's like, I think they did it first. I'll stick with them and back them. TikTok, they've got enough attention. Yeah,
I mean, like, to be fair, loyalty is one of our core values. So, like, makes sense. I get it.
They came up with it first. I'm sticking with them. It's like, I don't want like doing it twice, like the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
That'd be annoying.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. Cool. Okie dokie. Has anyone got anything else at all?
I've got a couple of little things. They're only small. It was one I'd seen earlier. Again, it might change, but Twitter. We're talking about Twitter Blue again. If you buy it on desktop, it'll only be $7. But if you buy it on your iPhone, it'll be $11 because you've got to pay the Apple App Store fees. So Twitter are not planning on sucking those up. They're planning on passing those on to everybody else.
Well, poor musty boy. He's obviously things a bit tight, aren't they?
That's why he's obviously living at the office then.
Oh yeah.
So if you don't actually, one of you guys talked about this. So one of you explain this one?
I just saw it on the BBC website. So there's pictures come out of some, I think it's a conference room at Twitter's HQ in San Francisco that's been basically converted into a double bedroom. Now, whether it is actually Elon staying there or whether he's trying to promote sort of wellness by people having a little nap, who knows? But apparently they've been reported to like the local authorities because it's obviously in breach of sort of building use, basically. But there's other pictures of wardrobes and things being moved into Twitter offices and stuff. So it's all a bit bizarre, isn't it?
It's like they said it looked like a cheap travel lodge. It wasn't sumptuous or anything.
There's another one there with some sofas with like bedding on and stuff actually scrolling through. But then, yeah, and obviously done it quite nice. I'd say it's more than a travel lodge because it's got like a Dyson fan in there and they're not cheap.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Upmarket travel lodge then.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it is a bit bizarre because it looks like it's got like an alarm clock next to it and stuff.
Maybe we should consider it. Maybe we should, like, we need a little sleep pod or something.
Yeah.
Well, you have enough of our time.
Could have had it yesterday.
Do you remember when, I can't remember who it was, where we had someone join the team and we said that, like, what happened was we pulled these banners forward and people could have personal time behind the banners.
That was me and I fell for it.
Was it you? I was trying to think who it was.
It was. And I really thought that there was going to be like a pod behind there, or you had just a little room behind there that you would go and chill
Have
out.
some personal time.
The amount of stuff I fell for when I started.
If anyone hasn't guessed, winding Nicole up is our favourite pastime.
There's some epic video content in my camera roll of like wind-ups of Nicole. Honestly, we should actually like maybe select one or two. That could be our what's the Spotify thing? Spotify wrapped up. That's what we should do. We do Spotify wrapped up, but it's all just going to be photos and videos where we bullied Nicole.
She'd love it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Like, I've seen businesses do it, and like that's just so good. Yeah, I think it's a really good. We should definitely do it because even that's the thing. It's wrapped up, so it's like we have till the end of the year, even into the new year, where it's like Spotify wrapped up still going to be like a thing. Let's do it.
When did you start? End of January, beginning of February, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
A year in the life of Nicole.
Love it. Absolutely
BeReal.
Love it.
Yeah.
She certainly is.
You know.
Amazing. Cool. Right. Well, on that note, guys, let's wrap it up there. for another week.
Hey!
You proud of me? Proud of me.
That's good, that.
It's that, and I actually really need to go and have like a serious coughing fit now. So that's why I'm wrapping it up at this point. So actually, Nicole, you do it.
And on that note, thanks for joining this week's live lunch. We'll be back next week at 12 on Facebook, YouTube, and do you use LinkedIn? Yeah, until then, have a great week and we'll see you there. Big waves, everyone.